what you need, and working together, we can achieve our goals. Look, our politicians have a lot of vision. They promise a whole lot. They say, I'm going to create jobs. I am going to lower your taxes. It's not about creating a job. It's not about taxes rate. Those slogans are great to talk about. It's all about put them in action. Leader, they listen to us with the L. They learn with the L. They evaluate the situation. They educate the citizens and let us know what's going on. And the A is going to act. Yes, to act, not just talk. How do you create jobs? One of the most fundamental philosophy and actual beneficial technique in economy is spending. When people spend the money, this world is getting a better recipients, because when you spend money, you can create jobs, you can create taxes. How can you make more money? How can you spend money while you are having no money? Well, if there's a way, we go find it. And let me explain. About 20-some years ago, lottery came to the United States. At least come to our Virginia. And I was opposing to it. Not because I'm not a gambler. I think 99% of the population are gamblers. When we talk about who wins a football game, when we put our opinion out there, we already gamble. Raining today or not is a matter of opinion. The gambling is that you put money where the mouth is. That's all it is. So when that lottery comes in, I was in the restaurant business. And when that jackpot goes up, less people come to the restaurant. They spend that extra money to buy the lottery ticket. Now the funny thing were, back in 20-some years ago when they first started, they say $1 million jackpot. Back then, maybe, late 70s or maybe 80s, is so long ago, I forgot the exact year. But they said if you win this $1 million, you will get $50,000 a year for the next 20 years. Now, come on. At that time, the interest rate for saving is 5%. They take 50% of the money from the lottery and put it in the bank, belong to the government, and give you back 50% for that $1 million jackpot. They don't pay you no principals. They pay you interest for 20 years at 5% at the time. So you have no money from your principal. They just pay you interest. And everyone was so happy. And one of my employees, a manager from my sports complex, he spent $40, $50 every Wednesday and Saturday. Now you're talking about $4,000 or $5,000 after tax money from one individual who was just a worker, not an owner of a business, not a millionaire. But that money went directly and you will never see it again. Well, you might not agree with me, but that's the way I see it. You say, oh, I can win $1 million. Yeah, 1 in a million chance? No, it's 1 in a 2 million chance. Because they take 50% of that first, remember? So, I have another friend. He said, I don't like lottery after you told me, Chin. I mean, this is kind of dumb for me to put $5,000 a year into the lottery process and not benefit anything off from it. But I love to gamble, so what should I do? I say, hey, your choice. I'm not here to educate you. I'm not here to support you to gamble. But you do whatever you want. I mean, that's your money. It's your freedom. This is America. So he said, I would like to take maybe 2 vacations a year. I'm going to take maybe $2,000 each time and spend it maybe in a casino, maybe in a horse race track or whatever. I'm going to have a little fun. But instead of $5,000, I still have $1,000 in my pocket. I think that may be a good idea. What do you think? I say, well, the choice is yours. I'm not going to ask you to gamble, but, you do whatever you want. So he took these $4,000, $2,000 each. One time he went to, I think, Atlantic City. The other time, Las Vegas. He had a great time, he said, when he come back. He said, I left a good tip to this lady. She was so nice to me. I watched the show. I paid my airplane tickets. I was moving the economy forward because I enjoy it and people enjoy it. You know what? When I'm thinking about it, I was helping the casino. Really? You're helping the casino? You mean you're helping Mr. Trump? Well, not just him. I was just helping the economy because when I was spending my money in the casino, comparing that I spend my money in the lottery, I have more fun. I can enjoy with the people. I spend my money in the restaurant. I spend money on the show. I feel like I'm empowering people. I feel like I'm empowering myself because when I tip people, I know I can help them to make a better living. When I was traveling, I know that I'm paying my taxes through the gas because the fuel for the airplane. I feel like that I'm contributing something to the society. And I'm going to lose that $4,000 anyway, or $5,000 if I play lottery, but now I still have $1,000 left in my pocket. And you know what? Thinking about it, I helped probably Donald Trump or some other people paying their fair share of taxes because I do know that they have to pay real estate taxes. Oh yeah, it makes sense. I want to use the same scenario to help you to spend your money intelligently and rewrite the tax code. You see, as what we learned from Mr. Donald Trump, rich people do not like to pay taxes. There's many ways to do it. I'll tell you one way that I know, that many wealthy real estate people to save money by not paying taxes. Let me give you an example. Now, when I'm talking about rich people, it's not about average American. When we say rich, it's about millions, tens of millions, or maybe $1 billion. Tax rate does not mean a billion. Because if they pay nothing, 100% of nothing is still nothing. But you and I, when we pay 20% or 25%, it's real money coming from your pocket, from your paycheck, before you see it. Now that is the key. Before you see it, it's gone, just like the lottery. Now, let me go back to the important topic, how to change the tax code. And understand, remember, a good leader needs to have you to understand, have me to understand, has our leader to understand, so that we can be understood. So that we can be understood. Without understanding, we don't go nowhere. If my father, well, I want to thank you, my father, even though he did not leave me anything, but that's beside the point. But my father is a great person. I love him. He left me my charm, my confidence, and a good life. Thank you, Father. And I want to thank God for everything that He gave us. The rich people, when they have $1 billion from their father, not in cash, but in a building, 10 years from today, that building probably worth $2 billion. If that is the case, I can go to the bank and borrow $1 billion because the net equity is still 2 billion minus 1 billion. I have that $1 billion. I can invest in anything I want without paying taxes. Matter of fact, the interest that I am paying the bank today, maybe 2%, 3%, the tax deductible. So why do I want to pay myself a salary while I'm able to use this tax loophole to benefit myself, buy whatever I want, enjoy like a king without paying taxes? On the other hand, if I can borrow that money, and if I can use that money after I pay taxes or after or without paying taxes, I buy certain bonds, tax-free bonds. Maybe pay you 2%, 3%. You know what? they don't have to pay taxes. They have all the money in the world to spend without paying taxes. It's kind of interesting when you talk about rich people getting richer. Do you remember that 5 million people lost their home and how our government taking care of our banks? They said, we cannot afford to let the bank fail. So you know what they did? They have this money loaned to these banks, and turn around, the banks borrow 10 times more from the Federal Reserve, paying our federal government close to 0%, and use that money to buy bonds, earns 3% or so from our federal government. At the end of the day, who is paying for it? The American people. You, me, and American citizens. That's how the tax work, the loopholes work. Do you understand it? Do you understand why that we have this stock market so strong? Because the money, the paper money that they borrow from the FDIC, put all those money back in the stock market, supporting our government, supporting our stock market, so they rise again by themselves. Not you and not me. What part do we not understand? And then turn around, all those stock traders, they don't have to pay taxes. They call short term, long term. They use all the terms. But at the end of the day, they say, I have not cashed out. I don't have to pay no taxes. Now, the good news or the bad news, you said the Congress is trying to write another law that there's no heritage taxes or close to it, or maybe the other 5 million or first 5 million or whatever. Now, think about this. Now they have foundations that they don't pay no taxes. They have a tax deferral when you buy properties or capital gains. As long as you don't cash it, you don't have to pay taxes. And at the end of the day, when you don't have no heritage taxes, so the top 1% of the population, they never pay taxes. I'm with you, Donald Trump. I'm sorry that people point finger to you. It's all about the law, right? Law and order. When you have our corrupted society or loopholes work against American people, voice have to be heard. But if you don't understand what's going on, how can we change America? How can we better our society? How can we become one of the strongest nations in the world again? Many people said we're always the #1 power in the world. Congratulations. I'm very proud of it. But you know what? The way that it's heading, that is hard to say that we can be #1 forever. My hope is to keep America strong and get better each day, and you can live a better life. So, by telling you all this story, what is the point? The point is not about our government. The point is not about work against our banks or financing institutions. My purpose is to share the common sense approach, how we can empower our people, empower our neighbors, so that we all can live a happier and healthier life without headaches and worries every single day. When I hear that 90% of the population are worried about their financings, I understand. I was there before. There is a way that we can do it. I know this sounds crazy, but what I learned from my 2 friends, one buying that lottery, one that spent the money through entertainment, that offer me an opportunity to share my idea with you. Most people don't understand